Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a cat in a pumpkin patch figurine using polymer clay. I think this design is super cute and perfect to make just in time for Halloween, so let's get started. So I'm beginning by creating the base of the figurine, and the colour clay that I'm using is called Grey Granite by Premo. I sat it down onto my work surface and then I just used my fingers to push it down into a dome kind of shape. So this is what it looks like. To make the pumpkins, you want to take some orange polymer clay and begin by rolling the clay into a ball, and then you want to press it down slightly so that it's not completely round. Next, you can take a ball tool and push this into the top of your clay, and as you can see here, I'm swapping it out for a larger one. If you don't have a ball tool, I do find that your knuckle also works quite well for this as well. Then, so the indent doesn't look as harsh or obvious, you can blend it or smooth it out a little using your fingers. Next, to create the pumpkin texture, you want to take a needle tool and begin by pressing it into the clay at the top of the pumpkin and working your way down to the bottom. You can then do the same on the other side, and I like to keep going around to make 8 indents in total on my clay pumpkins. So I kind of just keep halving the clay until I kind of cut it into 8 pieces. I find if I do it this way, the spacing is much more even. So for the stem, I took some brown polymer clay and I rolled it into a small teardrop shape. I then cut off the very top part and also the bottom pointed part so that I had a flat surface to work with, and then I just placed this into the center of my pumpkin. If you do want to add some extra security, you can also firstly pour on some liquid clay to connect it on. Finally, for the pumpkin details, we want to make a little twirly vine, so take some green polymer clay and roll it into a thin coil on your work surface, and then you can take that coil and connect it onto your pumpkin and shape it however you like. I then went ahead and made a whole bunch of these in different sizes and colours to add to my pumpkin patch. Moving on to the cat that's going to be in the pumpkin patch, you can choose whatever colour you would like, and the colour that I'm going to be making my cat is a dark grey. So I rolled a piece of clay into a ball for the head, and then for the body I created a teardrop shape which was flat on one side. I then trimmed off the bottom and the top part with my blade, and I connected this onto the head. You can take a needle tool and you can use this to blend the edges together. To create the ears, I took a smaller piece of the dark grey clay and I shaped it into a diamond by pinching both ends between my fingers. I then also did the same with a light tan coloured piece of clay, and I connected this on top before trimming it in half, and then I had 2 even sized triangles. When you have created your ears, you can then also position them on and connect them onto the head. Moving on to the face, firstly create 2 indents where you want the eyes to go, and then you can add in 2 balls of clay. You can see here that I'm using white clay for my cat's face, and this is so it stands out a little more against the dark grey. So I then went ahead and made a mouth using 2 small U shapes, and I also added a nose and then 2 whiskers on either side of the face. Then, because I'm going to have the cat kind of look like it's climbing up onto the pumpkin, I do need to make some front paws. So to do this, I began with 2 even-sized pieces of clay and I rolled each of them into little teardrops. I then took my largest pumpkin that I wanted to have as the centerpiece for the figurine, and I positioned on the 2 front paws so that they look like they are hanging over the top. Once you've done that, you can then grab your base that you made at the beginning and position on the large pumpkin near the center of the piece, and then also the cat directly behind it. So now it looks something like this. I then went ahead and I added on all the other little pumpkins that I made, and I kind of had a rough plan of where I wanted them all to go, so it was quite easy for me. But if you don't, you can kind of just work it out as you go where you think they might look aesthetically pleasing. And yeah, I think all the different shapes and sizes look really cute together. Finally, to finish it off, we need to make the cat's tail. So again, I took a piece of that dark grey clay and I rolled it into a longer teardrop shape this time. And then I just connected it on where there was some space between the pumpkins, and I kind of curled it out to the side so that you can see it from the front. It's then time to go ahead and bake the figurine in the oven according to your package's instructions. So after baking, you can choose to go ahead and glaze your figurine if you would like to. I actually ended up just deciding to leave mine as it was with a matte plain finish. So this is what mine looks like once it is completely finished. I really love this design and the way it turned out. We don't really celebrate Halloween here, but I mean, it does have a cat, so it is very up my alley. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for lots more crafty videos, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!